Teachers in New Jersey get a raise in September when they fog up the mirror. Whether you're outstanding, whether you're average, or whether you're ineffective. And why do we want a system like this? Well, the reason, of course, is because if we had a system that actually paid people based upon merit, what purpose would the union serve? It's a rigged game. They are a political thuggery operation.
And you're not compensating me for my education, and you're not compensating me for my experience. That's
well, you know what? Then you don't have to do it.
You were the first governor to allow a voucher system. I think a lot of conservatives believe in vouchers.
The role of the federal government, if there's any, is to provide incentives for more school choice. In states like Florida, we've eliminated tenure for new teachers. It's clear that we have to do this, that great teachers need to be rewarded more. Bad teachers, they should get out of the classroom. It's hard to do that in a system where collective bargaining based on longevity of service for all employees in school districts, not just for teachers, is the organizing principle. The social commitment is made to parents and on behalf of their children, and not so much to protect government-run, unionized, politicized monopolies.
We need to help our people be stronger than ever. That begins with strong families, by empowering parents, by allowing parents to choose the school their kids go to, not have the government tell them where they're going to go to school.
I believe in more local control over education, where states, localities, and parents can play a much more significant role in their children's schooling. That's one of the reasons I want to abolish the Department of Education.
This idea that working Americans should be forced to pay dues to a labor union just to keep their jobs is, well, it's just plain un-American. That's why it's so important to put the union bosses on the defensive with a roll call vote on the National Right to Work Act.
And I will tell you, it's 3 agencies of government when I get there that are gone. Commerce, education, and the, what's the third one there? Let's see.
You need 5.
Oh, 5, okay. So commerce, education, and
If you want to live in a state that, has huge, strong, powerful unions that are impacting negatively how your kid's education is going to turn out, you can live in New York or California.
And mistakenly, people talk about collective bargaining rights for public employees. They aren't rights, they're an expensive entitlement.
We don't have seniority or tenure anymore. We can hire and fire based on merit. We can pay based on performance. We can put the best and the brightest in our classrooms, and we can keep them there.
Any chance we'll ever get to be a completely red state and work on these unions?
Oh, yeah.
And become a right to work?
Well, in fact, the big thing...
What can we do to help you?
Well, we're going to start in a couple of weeks with our budget adjustment bill. The first step is we're going to deal with collective bargaining for all public employee unions.
Right.
Because you divide and conquer.
Let's make sure that education remains the passport to opportunity in America. And I want to start with more early childhood education.
Certainly, there is no better investment than in our children. Every dollar we invest can yield savings of more than $7 down the road by improving school achievement and graduation rates and reducing social problems such as crime and unemployment.
And I personally don't think that we should have one size fits all. I don't want to turn our children into little test takers and our teachers into big test givers. I don't think that's the right way to have an education policy.
The American middle class was built in part by the right for people to organize and bargain on behalf of themselves and their colleagues. If there is not a balance of power in the workplace, everybody will suffer.
Because we know that improving public education actually creates jobs and greater opportunities for all, we, this year, have made record investments in K-12 education, and we're proud of it. We need to continue to do it. With adequate funding for public education, sing it with me, people, we move forward, not back. With respect and support for the voices and opinions of hardworking teachers and educators in every classroom and school, sing it with me, we move forward, not back.
What we need to do is say, yes, higher education should be a right, not for everybody, people who have the ability, people who have the desire, because that makes our country stronger.
Last year, the top 25 hedge fund managers on Wall Street made more income than 425,000 public school teachers. And all over America, in Vermont and I suspect in Texas, we're firing teachers, we're doing away with art. We just don't have the money to provide a good education to our kids, and yet 25 hedge fund managers made more money than 425,000 public school teachers. And we have got to make it easier and not harder for workers to be able to join unions.
I stand before you as a card-carrying, lifetime union member. A committed supporter of collective bargaining rights. I've taken the risks at the time when union membership too often has been vilified and misunderstood.
Whether there should be mandatory unionization, I don't believe there should be mandatory unionization. I think it's good for people, and I believe really strongly in the right to collective bargaining. And that's what, that's my position consistently, whatever room I'm in.
The new Republican Party has undertaken the most direct assault on labor, not just in my lifetime, but without any hyperbole, literally since the 1920s. Our differences with the governors of Wisconsin, Ohio, Florida, Michigan, and over again run much deeper than our differing philosophies on public education and educators. Fundamentally, it's a debate about the importance of community and the appropriate role of government. So it should be no surprise that the same people who are pushing vouchers for schools are pushing vouchers for Medicare.